Good morning. Here we go again. Julius Caesar portrait. I want to show you again drawing just so you have a reminder. We're not done quite with the face, but I want to start moving on to the hair and the crown, and then the wrap, cape, whatever that is. Okay. So let's start moving on to the crown. I feel like the crown is what I'm gonna start with, like an ochre color. This is not one of my favorites. It's not the same quality. I don't like these. Let's see if I can find. Bronze. This one's bronze. Not crazy about it. I also have a gold, but I don't really care to use the metallic colors. I don't think they look really metallic. I'm trying to. Well. Kind of hard to. All right, let's see what we can do. Maybe this one. This one says golden rod. Yeah, maybe that's the one. Right. And this one's also golden rod. Okay. So at first, I think all I'm gonna do is trace them. Let's trace them. Sorry, I don't mean to take so long. What happened to my picture? Well, they've already been traced and brown, but I'm gonna kind of go back and actually, you know what? Let's just first. Oh, here. Ochre, yellow ochre. Let's fill them up really quick with just all yellow ochre, lightly, very lightly, kind of like what the first thing we did with the let's do that. Okay, so fill them up lightly, and then excuse me, kind of outline them, and then I like to do, I mean, this is what you can see in the picture, but from where it starts, darker, lighter, okay? From the, I guess, where the leaf starts on this side, shade, gradiently shade it, okay? So same thing, I'm gonna align it to the middle, and then shade from the middle, and then lightly all around. So I outline it, and everyone is different because the light hits them different, or because they're folded in a different way. So there's no right or wrong of doing this. Okay, I lightly shade, and then I add a little more. Okay, okay. lightly, and then I do the darken. And usually with leaves, one, because they're kind of like cut in half by the vein in the middle, one side is usually darker. So you can start doing that. Of course, the light that is closer to the shadows would be the one that is darker. Lightly shade, and then this one does not have a hand. And that's his ear. Okay. Alright, cool. I feel like we're getting somewhere now. I feel like these need that other half kind of darker. Okay. For the hair, he's got gray hair. So we're gonna grab two grays. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a lighter gray. Almost like, this one's called beige, putty beige. This is gonna be my lighter one. And then I want a little darker beige. And more like, I would say like a French gray, if you guys have it. This is 50% French gray. See the difference? So this is gonna be my darker grays, and this is gonna be my lighter grays. And what I like to do, oh, I don't have my paper here for practicing. What I like to do when I do hair is that. So you see how it's thicker and darker here, and it goes lighter here, because we're just doing kind of like the illusion, and then we might go this way again. So it depends, but that gives the illusion of light. And I also, when I'm doing this, I put more pressure, and then the more pressure, and slowly take off the pressure. More pressure and slowly. So that's more pressure, slowly goes less pressure, but also it goes into a thinner strand, just like our hair would. Okay. Oh man. Okay. All right, so let's start here, since all I'm doing is going, of course, under this is going to be a little darker, and from here it's kind of hard to see, but I'm just going to kind of course, all around here is going to be darker around the crown, because, well, the shadows from the crown are, and we can always go back and what I would do, I don't know if we'll have time for doing that right now, but still go back with my browns, maybe my medium brown, and so it pops. See the difference? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So I'm gonna go around the ear. I didn't color the ears before, so I guess I gotta do that. A few on this side, and just kind of filling it up. Okay. hard to see on this side, so I'm just going to and if you need to shape his head a little bit to change it, if the shape of your head looks kind of weird, this is the time to do it with the hair. So I'm first kind of doing my, it's hard to tell on this side of the hair. So I'm just doing, as you can see, tiny lines to resemble the hairs. Darker under here. Now, in my opinion, hair should not be perfect, because then it feels like we all have little strands of hair, so it should not be perfect. Doesn't mean to be super messy, but no hair is perfect. So I'm just messing it up a little bit so it's not so perfect. Oh, she's got some hair on this side. And I don't even think we need the lighter gray, but we can just so to add dimension. Just in certain areas maybe where there's a little more shadow around where the leaves, the crown of leaves. Okay. All right. Let's go back to finishing the skin. Here's my skin color. Well, if you guys can remember the color you use for skin, I don't. I think this might be it. Okay, I'm gonna go and, no, this is definitely not it. Maybe it is, and then I added the peach one on top. That sucks. Okay, so this, let's add some brown. This area is pretty good, so I'm going to with my shading, I'm not really drawing the shape of the interior of the ear. I'm just kind of with my shading kind of like showing what I can. Is there a line there? I don't know. would also do my, see if it looks too red. Let's do this on the other side. This one's harder to see. Okay. All right. So the nose. The nose needs a lot of darkening. Okay. So underneath here, this is going to be the darkest area of the nose. Lightly, and then I'll go back to the darker brown. Kind of fill that in. And the lips. And always the upper lip. I don't know if I already said this, but the upper lip usually depends on where you're looking at the image from, but usually it's darker. But now, you don't want to draw from memory always. You want to draw from what you have in front of you, because otherwise you're making it up, and then your shadows or your shapes are not going to be accurate because you're drawing from memory. I know what a mouth looks like, so I'm just going to do it the way I think it looks like. Wait. Now every mouth is different, and if you want it to be accurate, that's not going to work, right? And then with the shading, very lightly, I'm kind of, he's got this kind of, almost like part of his wrinkle, so I'm just kind of shading it lightly to show kind of those wrinkles, and then it connects to this part right here. I'm trying to work faster, I know I'm not. Okay, here on the eye, a little more of this brown. Now we need to go towards the middle of the nose. And this part underneath here and here should also be darker. Okay, let's start adding some of those shadows to the neck. I'm trying to work fast now. This is where the lightest part of the neck is, so don't go crazy there. And of course, all around where is close to the draping cape is going to be darker. here. And then just got like a little Adam's apple right here. So I'm just kind of showing it with shading, not really drawing it, okay? Very dark here. And here. Okay, now let's go out with the darker brown and let's kind of add those darker shadows. I don't know if this is the right one. Yeah, dark brown. This is kind of like our black, right? But not really. I'm gonna try to have like maybe 3 colors. One for the base, one a medium color where I start filling in the shadows, and then my darkest color is kind of like my very darkest shading, black almost. It's not very often that I use black, if I'm being honest. Okay, a little bit here. Very softly I'm doing this, not putting a lot of pressure on my paper. Okay, let's go here. This is very dark. It starts taking a little more shape. It starts popping a little more once we start adding those dark shadows. We're getting there, we're getting there. Let's do this. I'm gonna try to kind of not putting too much pressure, but almost kind of like just outlining him a little bit. With the brown. I think this might be this brown. Okay, it's pretty good. It's getting there. Okay, let's add a little bit of this darkness right here. You so it doesn't look better. So I'm not going crazy. Just a few hairs here and there. my light. I miss my light. Can I add it? Let's see. Can I add it with white? Let me try. Kind of. All right. How much time is left? Spin.